Welcome back everyone to theCUBE's coverage here in San Francisco here for RSAC 2025. It's our 9th year of live coverage of RSA, my 15th year covering it. And of course, this is SiliconANGLE's theCUBE where we extract the signal from the noise. We've been doing it for 15 years. Our next guest has been a CUBE alumni on all 15 years of theCUBE. He's got legacy status, OG status. Sanjay Poonen, President and CEO of Cohesity. He's running the company right now, scaling up his playbook. Sanjay, 15 years of extracting the signal from the noise. You've been a key contributor. Thank you for coming on and supporting us, and congratulations on continued success at Cohesity, now with Veritas combination. Great to have you back.
Thank you, John. I think I was there in your first or second show at Sapphire 15 years ago, where I heard you use the same expression, extracting the signal from the noise. And here you are, you're in your setup here at RSA, and you still have that great expression. You should trademark it.
It's funny, I went back and found an old blog post from 2005 where I said open source media is on an old typepad blog, but also went back and looked at the old SiliconANGLE. Our original motto was where computer science meets social science, extracting the signal from the noise. Open source media is now a big thing, our NYSE Wired relationship. Open community trust networks are forming. A lot of the stuff is evolving, and with Gen AI, this is a big part of this whole generational shift. I guess it took 20 years to figure out podcasting and all the openness that's going on. We're so proud to just do this, and I get a lot of emails. Thank you for interviewing the top executives.
You've done it well. You and Dave's been friends for many years. Great to watch your progress in this, and at the various different events, whether it's reInvent or Google, you guys are there, it's great.
And some call us the ESPN of tech, and you're a tech athlete. We've been following your career.
Thank you.
Sapphire, SAP, VMware, at Cohesity. Sanjay, you are well known for scaling businesses. You're bold, you make bold moves, you make pragmatic moves, organic, inorganic growth. Cohesity is a company that has great technical DNA. We've covered it here on theCUBE. But with Cohesity and Veritas combination, with cyber resilience, now distributed computing, full hybrid, the convergence of cloud native and Gen AI and infrastructure are all kind of coming together at the same time. It's a societal impact. There's real impact on humanity, but there's innovation now. So I really want to ask you, one, since we last spoke, you got Veritas under your wings. What's the lift look like? What's the integration been like, and where's the innovation? What are you eyeing?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, John. I mean, listen, when I joined the company 2.5 years ago, Cohesity built the best platform for cyber resilience, a zero trust platform in 2013. Mohit, who was on our show when I joined the company, you did a good interview with him, invented this notion of hyper-converged zero trust platform for data. And all the companies that came after us cloned his architecture. So we were the first to do that in 2013. And what Veritas had done many decades before is built a really good backup application that stored data on a separate appliance like a data domain. Now you take that very powerful backup application with thousands of connectors and snap it onto our platform, which is what we're doing, and offer customers a seamless way to be able to get to the next generation platform, which is this Cohesity data platform, at their time and leisure. We don't have to build a new platform, we have it. It's wins because of speed, of scale, of security, it's simplicity and smarts, the 5 S's that we like to call it. So we began thinking over the course of 2024 about how fast we could accelerate the integration, because we had about 10, 11 months to wait for regulatory approvals, and then we closed the deal on December 10th, and here we are 90, 100 days in, and innovation's flowing. We announced our first product that's come together from the combination called Recovery Agent at this conference. It's all focused on cyber resilience and recovery, speed of recovery. You're going to see us snapping together NetBackup on top of our platform. They have a supersonic API called OST that I saw the first fruits of that being integrated into our platform last week. It's beautiful, it's going to come out in the fall. And it's the same thing that we were running, that NetBackup wrote on top of data domain. We will now build it only to our platform, okay, and a few others, nobody else. So we have a tremendous sense of how this is going to view. The new company is about 3 times the size of what Cohesity was before. We were about a $550 million company. Now we're close to a $2 billion company. Rule 40 characteristics. So profitable growth, and we think we number 1 in market share, 13,000 customers, 85% of the Fortune 100, and 70% of the Global 500. Here's the killer part. We protect hundreds of exabytes of the world's data. That's almost 10 times all of our competitors put together. So we're in a very good position now to take this to the next level as we look at the next coming quarters and years.
You know, I was talking with Brian Bauman, who's the founder of NYC Wired, part of our collaboration with Cube. We kind of put the NYSC and the Cube together from a community standpoint, and he had an expression I loved, which was, you know, you plant the soil and watch the fruit come off the tree. What has been some of that fruit? Can you point to something on the results? What's different? The new products, you mentioned a few of them. What's been the big breakthrough when you look at Veritas plus Cohesity? Of course, we were speculating out of the gate, right? You know, obviously install base. What's that horizontal? Because once you connect, it's like there's enough overlap where it takes, and then things just flow cross-pollinate. What has been some of the breakthroughs?
Yeah, I think first off, reflecting on the fact that we didn't have to build something new. When Oracle bought PeopleSoft, Siebel, Hyperion, they had to build a new Fusion application platform, right? And it took them 5 days. We already have the world's best platform. This was Mohit's invention. Incredible. It's faster, it scales better, and it's built with zero trust principles from the get-go, okay? So that's number one. Number two, NetBackup brings these 1,100 connectors, over 1,000 connectors to all the source systems, the largest workload connector list. So we can get to any source of data and ingest that into our platform. That's a huge advantage. And that brings you the combination of security and scale. Then the third is Nvidia was watching what we were doing in AI. And I think I talked to you the last time we talked about this. We were building a retrieval augmented generation capability to directly interrogate data that's in our platform. Never been done before. We were the first to do it. Nvidia noticed that and invested in one company, John, in the space, Cohesity. Jensen featured us at the GTC conference in 2024 last year, and again 2025. So we're excited to have them in our cap table. Yeah. We're working closely with them. You were at Google, we were announced in Thomas Kurian's show, yeah. One of the most prominently featured companies in our space. So, you know, Nvidia, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, all working closely with us in this AI move. I think you could think of us like a Palo Alto meets Databricks. We are an AI-powered data security company, and that's a very special place to be in.
You know, it's funny, a lot of the data backup and recovery people just would rebrand, put new paint on the logo and say we're cyber resilience. You guys had the platform, Mo, it's very technical, you mentioned have the architecture. One of the top trends that we were talking about on the kickoff today was cloud security and the on-prem is hot. That's basically hybrid cloud. So that's a hot area here this week, obviously all the stuff like ransomware, social engineering, but cloud security is still front and center. The network, so storage has certainly changed in the relationship to AI factories, Nvidia's big play. So with all that as a backdrop, you got the distributed computing, cloud security, on-prem, which essentially is a private cloud, but
right.
we won't parse the semantics. What does that mean to you guys? Because you had a saying last time we talked, no customers left behind.
Yes.
In a lot of these ways, customers can be left behind.
Right.
If they make the wrong choice. How are you looking at the customer position vis-a-vis the landscape that they got challenged? The cloud security, I got the on-prem, how does my data be ready for AI? All these things kind of like are complex.
Yeah, so first off, when we think about workloads, there are going to be, I think, 3 in the private cloud. I would have said only VMware, but right now it's VMware, Nutanix, and Red Hat, OpenShift virtualization. And then 4 in the public cloud, AWS, Azure, Google, Oracle, and appropriately SaaS apps that run on top of them, like Salesforce, M365, Google Workspace. We have the largest workload coverage of any of them to protect those workloads. Now, one of the things that we've been able to crack that allows this customer base of either Veritas, NetBackup, which is 9,000 of them, or the 4,500 that came from Heritage Cohesity to get innovation seamlessly. I've been through this with VMware with AirWatch, SAP with Business Objects. It's not my first rodeo to doing big deals. You've got to find a seamless way by which customers can move from their current state to a new state in a non-disruptive fashion. That's what we're doing. So to a NetBackup customer, you're going to be able to snap onto the Cohesity platform seamlessly. We're going to build that OSD APIs to only that platform and nobody else among our competitors.
Define seamlessly, what does that mean?
So, NetBackup today was writing to another storage platform, like data domain. It can run seamlessly to our platform without doing anything. The same NetBackup version that you're writing. So now you get the power of all that wonderful software platform that Mo had built for free. Okay? In fact, we have a special renewal program that tells our customers, you renew with us for 3 years, we'll give you the Cohesity data platform for free with just your ability to renew with us for a couple of years, okay? So that's one example. Secondly, if you're a Cohesity customer, what are you getting from this for free? you're getting all of these wealth of connectors that NetBackup built, thousands, that just add to the platform. So when you look at this, both customer bases are getting innovation much faster than either company could have done on their own.
So it's not just cross-pollination, it's seamless integration and capabilities.
And having a pathway, all that you said, by which they can go to the next version of what they have without disruption at all. And that's when you talk to both customer bases, they love this. Now, all of this will work from one user console, a management control plane called Helios that launches these. So when you show customers the product, you show them innovation, I mean, and it's been really good. And yeah, the no customer left behind message is one where all of those 9,000 customers of Veritas, we want to lock them in, put a moat around them, take care of them, take them to the promised land, so to speak, but then take our 4,500 customers of Cohesity and continue to grow that. We think we're now about 13,000 customers, so we've added 9,000 customers on December 10th, the day we closed the deal. I think we could take this to 15, 18, 20,000 customers. We're focused on the enterprise, so we're really focused on the top customers in the Fortune 1000 and the Global 2000.
So your business metrics are hitting your marks.
We're very happy with it. I mean, good renewals are looking really good. We're looking at customers. I mean, the conversation, I set myself a goal to talk to 1,000 customers of Veritas. I haven't quite gotten them, about 600, 700 in the last 12 months or so, but that was a goal for kind of this year too. I think we can make something, and we're not going to go public this year, but the idea is to get the setup so that we could possibly think about that next year.
I think the last time we chatted, you called it rarefied air. This is like you're hitting the numbers, you have the benchmark to go public, but you still got more work to do. We got more touches, more.
I mean, Cohesity was about a $550 million company last year, growing the fastest of anyone in the space, and just turned profitable. When I got to the company, we were a little over 300 million in revenue, but highly unprofitable. And now we got to the point where we were growing well, very fast, but and just turned profitable. Now you add the Veritas business, which was NetBackup, which was immensely profitable, okay, and growing some. You now have a Rule of 40 company that's approaching 2 billion, Rule of 40, that, at the right point in time, we'll take it out, and it's the market share leader. Number 7 combining with number 2, you're number 1.
It's not, you're not pivoting anything, you're just growing. I love this business, it's like a business school conversation too at the same time. You have beachhead to secure, because you got an integration. By default, you made your company much bigger with the combination.
Right. 3 times bigger.
You got to lock 3 times bigger. You got to lock that beachhead down, then you have the growth strategy. So my next question is, okay, what's coming on here? You're in the midst of doing that, you're hitting the numbers, Rule 40, et cetera. What's the core news here at RSA? What are some of the meetings you got? I know you were at an investor conference. You mentioned Recover Agent is here. What are some of the big news? What's the talking points for you here? What's the talk track?
Yeah, first off, Recovery Agent's a hot product. We want to announce product here. We were awarded by one of the Cyber Resilience Awards, the best in our category. We're proud of that award. One of our prominent board members, who's probably one of the best cyber fighters in the world, is Kevin Mandia. He's all over the show here, talking in many of the keynotes, so I've told him to shamelessly plug Cohesity. We love it when Kevin Mandia is talking about the one company he's on the board of. And then we've got a lot of brand awareness. If you kind of watch the buses and cars, the number of Cohesity cars that talk about cyber recovery and resilience and recovery assurance. So we're bringing the brand.
Can't miss green.
You can't miss green.
Green is money and green is go.
There you go.
Green
so
is
we
not
like
red.
both those. It's both money and go. And we think that the brand awareness, part of the reason we picked Cohesity is it's a modern brand. And we think we can really make this the most indispensable, iconic company in AI-powered data security. So we're excited about this. I think we're coming off the heels of a great GTC with Nvidia, a good Google Cloud with Thomas Kurian, and Jensen featured us in their kind of keynotes. And now, here we're going to have a lot of presence here. And we're just building momentum, step by step, quarter by quarter, year by year.
I think one of the things that it's not well known, but should be and will be known, will amplify it for you. You guys are a leader in the ecosystem. Ecosystems are changing. Our data is showing that in this AI generation, ecosystem partners are much more engineering-oriented partners, not just sales partners. Talk about that change, because you have a good nose for growth, how to scale companies, certainly acquisitions, but being a good ecosystem partner, what does that mean now that we're in this modern era of Gen AI? You got to be technical, you got to be smart, you got to use words like frictionless, non-disruptive, seamless. These just seem to be characteristics that you guys are winning at.
Well, John, you've known me for years, and I've always used this expression from Isaac Newton, you see clearly because you stand on the shoulders of giants. So who are the giants in our space? You start with the cloud players. Amazon, Microsoft, Google. Amazon and Google are investors in our company. I've invited Microsoft to also be an investor in a company. We're private, so the cloud players are going to work with us, as also the private cloud, VMware, Nutanix, Red Hat. And Red Hat, we did a good partnership with them. Nutanix is going to do more with them, and VMware, Broadcom now is a big customer of ours too. In the hardware world, we start with Nvidia. There's no important multi-trillion-dollar market cap company. They're working with one company in the space that we're working with, excited. IBM's an investor in us. HPE and Cisco, investor in us. Yeah. We also partner with Dell, even though there's some overlap. We love the hardware partners who are going to work with us in compute and storage. Then you get the security players, that's the third category. Palo Alto, CrowdStrike, Mandiant, Zscaler, Wiz, all core partners. We created this partnership framework called the Data Security Alliance. It's the biggest and the largest number of security partners partner with us. Then you get to the VARs, the SIs, the distributors, very strong partnerships there. So I believe that when you look at this, we have the ecosystem that all our competitors envy. We're going to continue, it's a priority to me, as you know. Yeah. I made that my calling card at VMware. Yeah. We did some amazing things with the cloud players, including Amazon, which you watched, and I'm bringing that same playbook here. Ultimately, the ecosystem are force multipliers, because why? If we get Amazon and Google and Microsoft and Nvidia to talk about us, to work with us, they multiply our voice by a factor of 1,000 or 10,000 in ways I can never do. Yeah. And that's why we love the ecosystem.
Yeah, and you mentioned Kevin Mannion's on your board, obviously CUBE alumni, Ballistic Ventures got some new talent with Google, Phil Venables just joined. The other name you mentioned is not yet a CUBE alumni, Jensen, if you're watching, you'll be on the Cube soon, we'll get you on.
Get him on, he's fantastic.
Jensen's one of the only CEOs that I've ever seen on stage, during a mainstream keynote, by the way, who says computer science multiple times. There's a real computer science edge right now.
Yes.
It's a systems revolution, we've been saying over and over on the Cube. So a lot more talents coming in, I call old school systems thinkers, as well as young guns coming out of school, or entrepreneurs who are building systems, not just coding. So they're getting down to the root level. So I have to ask you, you've been a great scale executive, but also you've been good at M&A. You mentioned AirWatch and others. You took VMware to new heights. Is there an eye for some organic and inorganic growth on the horizon, or is that a little bit too far out? Are you thinking, there's some holes in the product line you want to fill, or opportunities in this market?
Yeah, we always keep our eye to inorganic and organic, but I think similar to what at SAP, the big deal was business objects. At VMware, it was Nicira and AirWatch. I was very involved with AirWatch. This is a big deal. We bought a company that's twice our size, okay? We got to digest this, we're just early days. So we will look at inorganic moves, tuck-in acquisitions, but I think the bulk of our innovation has always been organic first, partner second, and acquisition third. This is the biggest deal in the history of Cohesity, but we'll keep innovating, and I think our engineers, what I'm really excited about when I go and spend time with our engineers, we now have an engineering team that's 2 or 3 times the size of what I had on December 9th before the deal closed. These engineers are moving, John, at the speed of a startup. And that to me is fantastic. When you can get a bigger team to move faster, I was telling them it's like a cheetah and an elephant in one. There's not many animals that can move fast and be big. And that's what I want to create with the company.
Sanjay, I just talked about this on my podcast last week with Dave. We were saying that in these big shifts, the incumbents are the slow, used to call it at HP when I worked there, the aircraft carrier. Doesn't move very fast. Startups would come in and take out some of the slow incumbents, or old guard, as Andy Jassy used to say.
Right.
But AI levels the playing field,
sure.
To your point about elephants being a cheetah. So now you're seeing innovation with the big incumbents, because they're not resting on their laurels. Now if you're resting on your laurels, you're going to get eaten up.
You're going to get eaten up.
So okay, put that aside. So startups and the big players are integrating for the first time. I've never seen this in the industry, in 30 years in the business. You now have innovation speed with leverage resources like data, and for these companies, large scale enterprises, Cohesity.
I think
established companies, you can't just get taken out by a startup, but the startups are moving in fast too.
I mean, you have to respect that. I think it's also, AI is one element, but it's also leadership. I mean, if you look at the leadership principles of Amazon, which I really respect, people like Jeff Bezos and Andy Jassy and now Matt Garman, they believe it's always day one. And as a leader, I've only known one gear since I came to this country as an immigrant: move fast. I built innovation inside SAP, inside VMware, Now, of course, I'm getting to do it at an even smaller company now as a CEO, but I've known only one gear in my life, which is to move fast. And I think, Andy Jassy was a classmate of mine in business school, he has that same DNA. But so does Satya Nadella, so does Thomas Kurian. And Jensen, these are the folks who are never satisfied with the status quo. They're taking an axe to the root of bureaucracy, and they're constantly getting their engineering teams. So whether we're about a 5,800 employee company at the new Cohesity, 30,000 at VMware, 80,000 at SAP, you can get those ships to move fast. It's about leadership and about building and two engines that I think are very important. Product innovation, building products that are 10x better than your competitors, and customer obsession. You put those two jets on fire, you can go a long way.
The speed is so amazing, speed up and down the stack. In fact, we're going to have Matt Garman in June. We're going to do a first ever AWS reInvent halftime report.
Oh, wonderful.
Because what Amazon's done in the first year has already been fantastic. Google next, you mentioned them, we just came off next. The pace of play is so fast right now, we have to kind of do this event. And even here in the security industry, we were commenting about some of the change here. There are so many storylines at RSA this year because of the change. I call it a replatformization era of security. In fact, I asked Pat Gelsinger with Dave on a cube once at VMware, is security a do-over? He said, absolutely it's a do-over, but it's hard to do.
Right.
It's hard to do a do-over, but it seems like it's a replatforming opportunity. So I have to ask you, what are you looking at here at RSA? Are there any mega trends? Do you think that we're in a replatforming era of security? Because if Jensen's vision continues to accelerate, the AI infrastructure systems will have a different relationship to data. The storage will look differently, networking's going to look differently, multiple systems talking to each other. You got, the caching's different. It's like the 90s, at a large scale. What's your take on RSA this year? What do you observe?
Yeah, I think, listen, I respect many of the other security CEOs, and I agree with Nikesh, who's CEO of Palo Alto, on the fact that platforms win. Now, part of his use of the word platforms might be a little self-serving to just Palo Alto, but Palo Alto is a very legitimate platform. We're building the world's best data platform. CrowdStrike is a very good endpoint security platform. So there's going to be a few of these companies that build incredible platforms. Databricks, Snowflake, building incredible platforms for structured data. So I think as we build that, if we can stay true to our course, we're building an AI-powered data security company, work with these other key members of the security community. I mean, the one thing about the security industry is there's 5,000 plus vendors. You can go down the expo hall, you see so many of them. So it can sometimes be hard to use your description, extract signal from the noise. Yeah. But I think as companies get to critical mass, if they're innovating and customers are voting with their wallet for spend on Palo Alto or CrowdStrike or Cohesity or whoever have you, Nvidia and AI and so on and so forth, you start to build a platform that is indispensable, that's sticky, and then integrates with other core platforms in enterprise. That's what we're trying to get done.
Sanjay, final question for the folks watching. Data security platform, define what that is because it's nuanced, but when you look at some of the things you mentioned about non-disruptive and seamless across multiple platforms, in case Veritas and Cohesity, customers want that same experience too across their other platforms. So what's different about data security today? And how does cyber resilience fit into all that? Because there is a storage element, there's a little bit of backup element, that's just recovery. Ransomware, big market there, still exploding. But what is a data security platform mean, and what does it mean to the customer?
Has three characteristics, I'll make it very simple for you. Number one, it's multi-cloud in all workload coverage. VMware, Nutanix, Red Hat OpenShift, AWS, Azure, Google, Oracle, and SaaS apps. You need to cover the workloads of the world. IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS, number one. Number two, you have security baked into the platform, but also advanced security on top of that. Think of that some of the security is your seatbelts that come for free, but then there's advanced security services like, roadside safety, things of those kinds in the way you drive a car. And that advanced security can go very sophisticated. Threat hunting, ransomware detection, classification of data, security posture management, so on and so forth. And the third is, you use that data for Gen AI to search and summarize that data and get advantage out of it. Treat this like the gold, as opposed to just something, data you put in a bunker. You do those three things, you build a data security platform. So what we're doing, multi-cloud data protection, core security built in and advanced security, data security, on top of that, and AI, especially generative AI. And that's, to me, kind of what our focus is the company. What we message to our customers and what they tell us is they typically on that platform pick us, Cohesive, because of 5 S's: our speed, our scale, our security, our simplicity, and our smarts. So when you hear that from our customer, we just keep investing in that.
Yeah.
And the good news in our base is like, we've got 13,000 amazing customers. I spend time with them, and they are guiding us, John, on where to take the platform.
Yeah.
You listen to those customers, these are the biggest banks, the biggest public sector, the biggest healthcare, the biggest tech and telco companies. We're guiding our platform with the feedback of these customers.
And they're making big decisions right now about how their future's going to be architected. Foundational decisions.
The biggest logos in the enterprise are picking up platform and then telling us where to go. You keep doing that, that's how great companies are formed, whether it's Amazon or Microsoft or Google or Nvidia.
Work backwards from the customer, you know that. Final question, in short, what are you focused on? What's your goals? Obviously you got to get to those 1,000 customer touches. What's on your agenda? What are you personally working on right now? What are your goals for the rest of the year?
Well, listen, we've got 13,000 customers. I want to make sure they're extremely happy, no customer left behind, and grow the company relative to our plan and our goals as a rule of 40 type of company. And we feel we're really on a good start. Keep our market share. When you're number 1, people are attacking you. They all want to be number 1. So you want to keep that market share growing, and then build an incredible company in terms of employees, an iconic company in places where the employees are engaged. I start with, if our 5,800 odd employees could be engaged, if they're excited about this mission, we'll build an incredible company that has innovation and customer obsession as its North Stars.
Sanjay, great to have you on. Tech Athlete on theCUBE. Here, extracting the signal from the noise. I'm John Furrier, host of theCUBE, Dave Vellante, we got John Olsek, Jackie McGuire, our whole CUBE team is here. 15 years Sanjay's been with us, watching him build and grow companies. Again, Cohesity and Veritas, now one big monster growth opportunity, soon to be public company when you're ready. Keep us posted, Sanjay, thank you so much.
Appreciate
we'll be right back, more live from the RSA conference here in San Francisco after this short break.